Welcome to Overtime with Taylor Tanner, Week 7 under wraps, Week 8 coming up. And man, oh man, we got a lot to talk about. Upset. It's been upset week 7. Vanderbilt, Arkansas, two of the top SEC teams fell. And that's what we're going to start the show with. Vandy beat Bama. And it wasn't a low-scoring game. It wasn't like a 16-12 game, like, oh, Vandy's defense, Alabama's offense just wasn't good. Vandy's defense just dominated? No. Vandy won because they outplayed, outrushed, outgained, outpassed Alabama. Sure, Pavia played really, really good. Jalen Milroe, he almost had 300 yards. I think he did have 300 yards. But what killed this Bama team was the turnovers. Jalen Milroe is back to his last season form with these turnovers, man. I'm telling you, he threw a pick six. He fumbled the ball too. Without those two turnovers, Bama probably would have won the game. So what's the big headline coming out of this game? Kane Womack needs to go. That's the headline. That's what everyone is saying right now. Womack needs to go. And I don't think so. Sure, there's bad defense in the last game against Georgia. They were up by 5 touchdowns essentially. And they let Georgia come all the way back. They did pull off the win by Ryan Williams, of course. And Kane let Vandy put up 40. That's unheard of. Vandy putting 40 on Bama. And this game isn't just a big upset. It's a historic upset. Vandy hasn't beaten Bama since like the 1980s. It's been that long. It's a different philosophy since DeBoer's come in. Saban made it known that we're never losing to Vandy, and they never did. DeBoer's first year lost to Vandy. People are saying, oh, this is like the ULM loss with Saban. No, it's not. It's nothing like that loss. This loss is far worse than the ULM loss. Saban didn't inherit a great roster at Bama. DeBoer inherited a national championship contender roster here at Bama, and they lost. I don't know what this says for the Bama team. The offense needs to stop turning the ball over. The defense just needs to get better. Womack needs to get these guys, just needs to light a fire under their tails. He needs them to play good ball. And that's all you need to do if you're this Bama defense. Play good ball because you got some tough games coming up. And, man, this Bama team could lose 2-3 games and not be in the playoffs, but they could be. You never know. It's 12 teams. So we may see a 3-4 loss SEC team in. You never, ever know. All right, let's talk about another upset. Arkansas beat Tennessee. This score was 19-14. What a just interesting score. Tennessee, this offense, I overhyped them a lot. I said this is the best offense. Nico can throw that ball without a care in the world. They got great receivers. Dylan Sampson's an awesome running back. But no, this offense just didn't do anything. Arkansas's defense just really dominated this game. Taylon Green went down late in the game. Oh no, this is it. Taylon Green's done. Arkansas is cooked. No, Arkansas is not cooked. Their backup quarterback came in. Malachi Singleton came in and led the touchdown drive, led the game-winning drive to win the game. And Arkansas, man, this Arkansas team's really, really good. I think they're a sleeper team in the SEC. I was kind of high on them preseason. Like, I really didn't know what to expect from this team. You never know what to expect from Arkansas. They always have super highs, high potential in the offseason. They just crumble. They have 2 losses, but those 2 losses to Oklahoma State and Texas A&M, those 2 games could have gone any way. Either way, it really doesn't matter. Those 2 games could have been won. So this Arkansas team could be 5-0 right now. Let's go on to another game. Cal, what an atmosphere. Game day was in California, in Berkeley, and man, oh man, this game was crazy. Miami travels to Cal. Miami. How many miles? I can't even calculate how many miles. That's across the United States. That's a long drive. I feel bad for that equipment bus driver, man. Driving that equipment truck, oh my goodness, to Miami, to Berkeley. That's an insane drive. That's a crazy drive. You got to be a madman to make that drive. But anyway, Cal had a lead at halftime, but Cam Ward, he just does things that Cam Ward can only do. He came back from that deficit. Cam Ward single-handedly led this Miami team back to win the game 39-38. Cam Ward is such a weird quarterback to me. He has these really good moments, really high moments, and then he'll throw these terrible interceptions. And with these picks, he goes to the sideline. He's not throwing his helmet down. He's confident. He's like, okay, mistake, I'm going to go back out. That's what you like to see from a quarterback. A guy who can do that stuff. He threw a pick. Okay, sucks to throw a pick, but hey, we're going out there the next drive and we're just going to bang, 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 touchdown. And that's what he did, and that's why Miami came all the way back to beat Cal. All right, another game. A lot of good games. Texas A&M blows out Missouri. Brady Cook just looked terrible. His accuracy is terrible. All he has to do is throw the ball up to Luther Burden, and that's literally all. That's where the majority of their passing yards came from. Was from Cook just throwing it up and say, "Hey, Luther Burden's down there somewhere. I'm gonna just throw it up to Burden, let him make a play." But you can't do that the whole game. Texas A&M just destroyed. Connor Weigman looked really good. He was passing very efficiently, back healthy again. And this A&M team could be really, really good. Really, really fun team. I think they are an elite team. This SEC's bound to have some crazy finishes late in the season. Of course, you still have Georgia, Texas. Those two teams are really the top dogs right now. But Texas plays Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout next week. We'll discuss that game in just a little bit. But, man, this SEC is going to be so, so fun to watch near the end of the season. Watch how everything just unfolds. And let's talk about another game. USC, they fall to the Gophers, and how the Gophers just ran the ball. USC needs to fix the run defense. Their defense looked really good to start the season against LSU. It's like, okay, this defense isn't terrible. Like, sure, they're not up to par with some of the most elite defenses, but this defense needs help. They play Penn State next, and Penn State has Singleton. This guy can run the ball down your throat. He can run it to the outside. So it's safe to say USC is screwed against Penn State, but their offense is the shining hope. Their offense is the knight in shining armor on this team. And if Miller Moss can do Miller Moss things, throw for 300 yards, they can win this game against Penn State. But, man, losing to the Gophers is just really, really tough. All right, last thing I want to talk about on Week 6, Ashton Jeanty. This guy ran all over the competition. He is on pace to break Barry Sanders' single-season record for rush yards. Barry Sanders in the first 5 games averaged 1,002 yards on 130 carries. Ashton Jeanty has 1,031 yards on just 95 carries, averaging 10.9 yards a carry. This is historic numbers. Ashton Jeanty better win the Heisman. He better keep this up. I'm so high on Ashton Jeanty right now. I think he should be a first overall pick. Screw saying, hey, Ashton Jeanty, I'm not going to waste a pick on him. I'm not going to waste a pick on a running back. Look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys haven't used a pick on a running back in so long, and look where they're at. They're literally a running back away from being a Super Bowl contender. But Ashton Jeanty, I'd use a first-round pick on him any day of the week. This guy is elite. He breaks tackles. He bounces out to the outside. He'll run up your throat. Ashton Jeanty is that guy. All right, now let's move on to Week 7 games. Texas and Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. Sometimes it's a shootout. Sometimes it's not. Texas is favored by 14 points, and they're going to win this game. Oklahoma just stinks. Oklahoma has nothing going for them. Their quarterback stinks. Their defense is pretty good. They force a lot of turnovers. But if Oklahoma wants to make this a game, their defense needs to get turnovers. They need to get turnovers. If Oklahoma can get up to a lead, then they'll win. That's all it is. I don't think Texas is going to win this game playing from behind. Texas, I think, could start off 21-0. But if Oklahoma gets just 7-0, maybe even 3-0, this game could turn, and Oklahoma could have a better chance at winning. Ole Miss and LSU. Okay, listen here. LSU is off a bye and off a Group of 5 win. Ole Miss is off of 2 straight road games, going to Baton Rouge. And let me tell you, after going to Baton Rouge for that South Alabama game, this crowd is crazy. It's loud. Ole Miss is going to have a tough time in this environment. And I honestly think Ole Miss still will win. I'm not sold on this LSU team. They can't run the ball. Nussheimers look good at times, but sometimes he just makes some boneheaded throws terrible passes. Like in the South game, he threw a pick. Terrible pick. Just why would you throw that ball, especially against a Group of 5 team? You're not supposed to throw picks. You're supposed to look good. But, man, this game's going to be intense. It's going to be interesting. Ole Miss wants to get back on track, being that team that they can be. Jackson Dart, I think, is going to have a field day with his LSU defense, if I'm being honest. I think Ole Miss wins. All right, we only got a few more games to talk about, just one, and then we go to South Alabama talk. Penn State at USC. This is going to be a tough game. USC's got a terrible, terrible defense. Penn State's got a great running attack. I don't know how Drew Aller's going to play, but he could be playing really, really good, but he could just be flat out terrible. I think this game goes Penn State's way. I don't even think Drew Aller needs to throw the ball once. Just run the ball the whole game, honestly, against this USC rush D, because they stink. And if Penn State can just dominate the ground as they should, this game should be a clear W for the Nittany Lions. And hey, according to the AP, they're a top 5 team. So hey, we'll see what happens there. Now, let's go on to South Alabama, man. Disappointing loss. In Arkansas State, our offense just couldn't click. Terrible, terrible game for the Jags. Defense played really good, but when your defense is playing that good, we expect our offense to explode. I really don't know what happened. Arkansas was just showing different looks. It's just, I just can't wrap my brain around it. Our offense was so good in the beginning of the season. Sure, we played nobody teams, but those first 2 games, even though we lost, our offense was really, really good. Our defense just stunk. Now our defense is looking really, really good, playing really, really good, and our offense is just stagnant and slow. Fluff isn't getting the carries he should get. I hate to be a critic, but it's what has to be said. Why are we not giving Fluff the ball 20 times? Why are we sharing the load with all these running backs we have on our roster? That's not how football works. If you have a running back who showed that he can get hot, keep handing him the ball. You're not going to share handoffs with 4 different guys and say, okay, you come in this play, up, third down, we're bringing in another back, up, we're back, first down, bringing in another guy. No, that's not how football works. Football includes players getting hot, and that's how you win games. You have players who get hot. Look at Ashton Jeanty. They're handing that ball to him every single play, and look what he's doing over in Boise State. I think Fluff Bothwell, he may not have that potential of Ashton Jeanty, but if we give him the ball 20 times a game, he'd probably get 100, maybe 150 yards a game if we do that. But no, we got to share the love, and I mean, sure, players get banged up, they get hurt, all that stuff. Like, yeah, if they're hurt, take them out the game. Don't make them play through an injury. But if he's healthy, let him keep playing. I don't care if we have Kentrell Bullock, who is a really good running back in his own right. But if we have a guy who is playing really good, keep pounding him the ball, you know. It stinks when you know we have a good running back and we just don't hand him the ball. But anyway, it's Troy Hate Week. We play next Tuesday. So a long little break for the Jags. So hopefully they kind of look in the mirror. Their offense is like, all right, we played Troy. We haven't beaten Troy in a while. In South, in Hancock Whitney Stadium. Should be a good game. I hope the crowd's packed. It is a Tuesday game, so you never really know what to expect. But hey, I think the Jags will beat Troy because Troy's just looked terrible this season. Their offense isn't good. They've had quarterback troubles. I think South takes home the belt, and I hope we do because we desperately need this win. All right, that's about it. I want to tease our next guest. He is a 2-time national champion in EA College Football 25. We have a little online college football league we're in, a bunch of me and my buddies. This guy's name's Andrew Ramsey. He's a big fan of the Maryland Terps, so hey, he might have some Big Ten knowledge that I do not have. All right, well, that's all for the show. Make sure to listen next week to Andrew Ramsey. He'll be joining me for the college football show. And, of course, Thursday, tomorrow, we'll have David Newland for NFL Thursdays. You've been listening to Overtime with Taylor Tanner.